Hello and welcome back to Chasing Trophies. Today we're going to talk about a beautiful story, the best debutant team in the history of the FIFA World Cup. We're just saying it as we see it. And Capo Verde, man, however you want to pronounce it, Cape Verde, Cabo Verde, they had an incredible run. They were unbeaten until extra time last night against Argentina. They drew to Spain, drew to Uruguay, drew to Saudi, and then against Argentina, they took them to the brink. They equalized twice. They have the goal of the tournament right now, thanks to Lopez as well. And they almost snuck past the world champions Argentina and gave them the massive scare. This is the biggest scare that Argentina have got in the World Cup so far. They probably got flashbacks of the France final, and that was against Cabo Verde. Their fans were intense. They were loud, they were cheering. Obviously the players were a bit heartbroken, but they should be proud of themselves because the whole world knows. At that time we didn't know where they were located, we didn't know what language do they speak, where are they from, what do they do, what is the region. It's only like 500, 600,000 people population, but what a performance, Fez, man, from Cabo Verde, almost an upset that we were desiring.
या आई मीन इनक्रेडिबल भाई जैसा आप बोले पता ही नहीं था कैपो वर्डे कौन है मतलब कभी गलती से भी सुन लिया वी डोंट पे दैट मच अटेंशन बट इट्स इनक्रेडिबल हाउ फुटबॉल से आप थोड़ा बहुत ज्योग्राफी भी सीख रहे हो इट्स लाइक इनक्रेडिबल दैट यू नोइंग अबाउट देयर पॉपुलेशन नाउ देयर पीपल लाइक देयर वेरी वाइब्रेंट वेरी फेस्टिव बहुत अच्छा क्राउड उनका आके सपोर्ट करा उनको आई थिंक एंड द स्टोरी इज इनक्रेडिबल इतना कम पॉपुलेशन की टीम ऐसी तगड़ी टीम एंड ऐसे वर्ल्ड कप में जहाँ पे you are playing the likes of Spain, you're playing Uruguay, you're playing a traditional World Cup team like Saudi Arabia in your group, and then you're coming into the toe to toe with Messi and co. And ऐसा कि भाई ये डिफेंडिंग चैंपियंस है भाई अर्जेंटीना, ऐसा नहीं है कि वो हल्की. और सबसे बड़ी चीज ये है कि भाई मोराल जो इनका रहता है लाइक द वे दे हैव मैनेज टू कीप देयर मोमेंट माइंडसेट इतना अलर्ट एंड जो बोलते हैं ना जोन्ड इन एंड ट्यून्ड इन लॉक्ड इन. And the minute they conceded a goal, they didn't fall down. The only time they fell down was when they lost the game. But post that, उसके बाद भी आप देखो, Vuzinia was going and picking up everybody, and everybody instantly got up. They weren't drowning in, disarray, and they were not drowning in emotional stuff. And through those 90 minutes, जब ये गोल कंसीड करे हैं, वो पलटा के उतनी enthusiasm से गोल मारने की चाह में थे. Like they kept coming back, and the fighting back spirit, that you can't keep them down. You couldn't keep them down. Even after the third goal, you saw they had a couple of instances आगे थे वो लोग. And that just shows you, man, like this team and this country and their resilience and stuff, and incredibly managed by their coach as well. I think he played a fantastic to their strengths. Center back की जोड़ी बहुत अच्छी है उनके. I think Roberto Lopez and Borges. I think that is their center back की जोड़ी बहुत ही अच्छी. Power punch है वो लोग. And then you have Ryan Mendes and Kevin Pina. बहुत now you know these players. Like you didn't AFCON भी हम देखे कि हाँ भाई अच्छी रन थी इनकी and stuff. आप वर्ल्ड कप से पहले भी एक झलक देखे कौन है ये टीम, बट उतना नहीं पढ़े थे आप इनके बारे में जितना हमें मालूम हो गया कि भाई ये टीम वन फॉर द एजेस दिस काइंड ऑफ अ फीफा वर्ल्ड कप रन आई हैव नेवर सीन इट इन माय लाइफ.
Yeah, and it's not just a fluke drawing to Spain, right? Like then against Uruguay, and they showed different things. Against Spain, they just held a low block and they were scampering for their lives. The Vuzinia had to come up with a spectacular performance. Against Uruguay, they looked to attack whenever they were a goal down. Against Saudi Arabia, they knew what they needed, so they were playing on the counter attack and they were much more lethal. They created more chances. Then against Argentina, they were going pound for pound at one time, man. Like yes, Argentina when Cape Verde equalized, Argentina started attacking a lot and they looked like they were hanging on. But then when they scored, Cape Verde, like you said, kept attacking and they have the goal of the tournament right now, man. He cut in, hit it top bins. When the goal went in, I couldn't believe it. Like, just against two, what kind of goal? Obviously, you need a special goal to beat the world champions, but the fact that they are providing these kind of moments in the World Cup, it shows it's not a fluke and they have a very, bright future. Also, it talks big of African football now. I think the AFCON tournament is now going to be taken more seriously because African teams are really good. We just got news. We just watched the game. Morocco are through to the next round, quarterfinals again. They're also showing it's not a fluke. Cape Verde almost got into the round of 16 if it wasn't for that last minute corner from Messi. And then we've got other Egypt are also now into the round of 16 as well. So it's very good for African teams, and like now their that continent and that competition will gain more respect in the world's eyes.
Yeah, 100%, and yeah, a lot more investment probably also in those leagues and those players. You might see a lot of people now from the big leagues going and scouting talent in like Cape Verde and Senegal and Egypt. वहाँ पे देखो भाई कौन है क्या potential है. We saw Imam Ashura yesterday. फर्स्ट गेम में क्या जबरदस्त गोल उन्होंने मारे थे बेल्जियम के अगेंस्ट. तो बिल्कुल फॉर अफ्रीकन टीम दिस इज अ बिग विन. And for Cape Verde, man, I think Mozinia at the age of 40, what he's done, the story is incredible. Like, you know, his mother wasn't even getting a visa at one time, but the minute the first game finished और उनकी जो सोशल मीडिया प्रेजेंस आई है अगले मैच में उनके वालदा यू नो वहां पे थे, उनके लिए भी बहुत इमोशनल था. एंड उसके जो सेव थे भाई, लाइक नेक्स्ट लेवल. मेसी लाइक कॉट हिम ऑफ गार्ड, सीटी बजा दी थी रेफरी ने, ही वाज स्टिल सेटिंग द free kick thing, he ran and you know made that save. The one-on-one with Messi he saved. Incredible stuff. And yeah, Argentina, obviously we expected them to win and stuff, but to pull them till the very end and keeping them on their toes in a match which they must have felt कि हाँ भाई chewing gum खा के मार लेंगे, केप वर्डे वो chewing gum निकलवा के you know they just हलक में लेके आ गए थे. And I think एवरी प्लेयर जिस तरीके से डिटरमिनेंट था कि भाई ये गेम तो जीतना है. if let's just say they won this game and lost the next game, but I mean already उनका imprint था, but for them they would have gone and beaten the defending champion, which would have been the biggest statement of for them ever.
Yeah, and you know the experience of playing against Lamine Yamal, and then like I mean Lamine Yamal came on only second half, but you know the Spanish team, then
Rodri,
then you know in Uruguay there's Valverde and stuff. There is Saudi, there's Salim Dawsari, and then here Messi, and obviously so
yeah,
not only they didn't look at it like okay we're playing against these guys. They focused. They did the thing after the match like मिले ये वो Messi के साथ photos लिए ये वो सब करे, and they deserve all that. But the fact that they went pound for pound with the big players, it'll give them a lot of experience going forward as well. And playing, I'm sure they've never played in these kind of crowds or in these kind of stadiums. I mean, African crowds in the AFCON are huge, but like this is some other level. This is the World Cup we're talking about, and people are coming to watch Messi, millions and millions, and paying thousands of dollars to come and see Lionel Messi. But for them to step up like that against them, not forget about like you know just bowing down. They actually went pound for them. They went to attack them. They went after Argentina. So I think hats off. This is probably the best story of the World Cup so far. I think Capo Verde and the way they've impressed all of us, and they deserve every single praise. I don't think we can be critical of them. Whatever it is, like you know, we could, yeah, you can say, oh my God, they shouldn't have conceded the goal. It's okay. They could do anything, man. Like for them, this is a big victory, and
yeah.
they should party, man. I think after this.
I think the lesson that as a spectator that I am drawing is like, भाई, you have to believe in your ability no matter कौन कितना भी बड़ा आपके सामने बाल खां हो, you know, like अपने पास बोलते कि भाई अरे उन्हें already you lose the match before you enter a stadium, right? Technically आप मेसी का सुनते, the game is over before you see Lionel Messi, or the game is over before you know like you're playing Emi Martinez in goal, and you know, but these guys didn't. You know, it's I think very important to what you focus on. You focus on what you can do on the pitch rather than you know the things that are out of your control. And I think that's exactly what you know the coach has instilled in this team, the belief that these guys, if they play to their strengths and their abilities and try to dictate the game and not succumb under pressure and play against the narrative of the opposite team, any team would be sitting back against Argentina. Like you know, of Cape Verde's like you know ranking, they would sit back, they would get bombarded. But
Yeah.
like you said, pound for pound to a team that is defending the World Cup and who's not been defeated right now, I think in a lot of games, Argentina haven't lost, and they have like managed to do this. And I think that is where you have to just say, भाई yes, अपने abilities में आप believe करो, confidence रखो. अब result आपके हाथ में नहीं है, but you know जिस तरीके से आप वो work करोगे, जिस तरीके से आप वो you know in tuned in locked in रहोगे, best effort दो, बाकी result तो आपके हाथ में है.
Yeah, and for Argentina, it's a wake up call because you know they were having, they were like sailing through, you know, through to the knockout rounds, and this is their first jhatka jo mila. They've gotten a shock now. The round of 16, they're playing Egypt. It's going to be Messi versus Mo Salah.
Yes.
I hope that Egypt give them a tough fight and make it difficult, but I think. Look, if you look at it from their point of view, they got the job done. That's what they needed. But obviously, it's a good wake-up call to have right now because it goes to show that yes, you might be defending champions, but like if Cape Verde can do this to you, what can France and these teams do? So they'll have to pick up another level. Lionel Messi has been sensational in this tournament. His goal was also a beautiful goal, but it doesn't come close to the Cape Verde goal. It was a beautiful touch, and then it was his ball in the box from the corner. You know everything he's doing right now, so he'll need a bit more support. Lisandro Martinez for me was probably the man of the match. Maybe not backwards, but going forwards, he got an assist and a goal as well. So well done to him. And they'll just have to against Egypt just be a bit more. I think clinical is not the thing, but like defensively, they have to be more aware. I think of the situation. Sometimes they just go to fall asleep, and they have to be a bit more commanding when they're defending the ball.
या 100%। वही प्रेसिंग के चक्कर में आई थिंक कहीं ना कहीं 60-70 मिनट तक थोड़े लेग्स चेंजेस एंड सब्स्टिट्यूट्स थोड़ा आना पड़ेगा उनके पास। एंड आई थिंक दैट इज वेयर थोड़ा दे आर लैकिंग, डिफेंस एकदम से गड़ा पड़ जा रहा है मिडफील्ड में, बिकॉज दे वर प्रेसिंग हाई इन द फर्स्ट हाफ एंड एकदम से सेकंड हाफ में जो बिलीव के साथ कैपो वर्डे आए एंड दे वर रनिंग रैम्पेंट। एंड आई थिंक आई थिंक इट्स लाइक यू सेड अ गुड वेकअप कॉल अर्जेंटीना के लिए कि भाई ये फ्लॉज है हमारे पास, थोड़ा बहुत हम टाइटन अप द स्क्रूज करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज नाउ यू आर कमिंग इनटू द राउंड ऑफ 16, यू गोना प्ले इजिप्ट एंड इजिप्ट भी रेजिलिएंट टीम है, दे डोंट सिट बैक, दे आर आल्सो पाउंड फॉर पाउंड काइंड ऑफ मेंटालिटी। बेल्जियम एंड न्यूजीलैंड एंड ईरान के अगेंस्ट भी आप कंसीड करे बावजूद भी दे कीप ट्राइंग टू अटैक फ्रॉम देयर विंग चैनल्स। यस्टरडे भी हम ऑस्ट्रेलिया के अगेंस्ट मैच देखे, एक टाइम था कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने capitalize करा, but they have a mentality of coming back and getting back the ball and trying to attack as much as possible. So I think very good wake up call for thing, but like I think Cape Verde from all the teams that we've seen in World Cups, giving us shocking moments, like it was Morocco in the 22 and it was like other teams in over the years, but this year I think and for probably a couple of more years like Cape Verde जो तरीके से हमारे को यादगार एक स्टोरी बता के चले कि भाई हम भी हैं in the world.
Yeah. I mean, they've etched themselves in history of World Cup football, and everyone knows who Cape Verde is now. I'm sure people will tune in when they play AFCON as well, and hopefully, this is the start for them. And African football is now on the rise. Probably Morocco are the poster boys, but Cape Verde is behind them. Egypt is behind them, and it's just great to see that these guys are flourishing as well. And football is growing in different parts of the world. It's already there's a lot of passion in these places, but it's good to know places that we don't know where they're located. We haven't heard of these countries. They're coming and doing these kind of they're putting this kind of effort and performances in. So well done to them. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you Fez as well. It was great talking about this team, and now the World Cup is picking up steam. There's going to be a lot of great games. We have the round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals. The first round of 16 game is done. Morocco has beaten Canada. They've won 3-0. So congratulations. Now we've got the France game, and then we move on tomorrow, Brazil, Norway, all the big matches. So looking forward to it. Thank you Fez. Thank you everybody, and have a good rest of the evening. Take care.